Markets have been performing relatively well over the last 12 months, providing decent returns to investors in the year 2017. As the new year began, one question comes to mind. Would the year 2018 deliver greater opportunities to the market? So today, we have three industry experts, Mr. Sadiq from Maybank Kim Eng, Mr. Teng from Affin Hwang Asset Management, and Ms. Stratlings from UOB Asset Management Malaysia to share their views on the market for 2018. In 2017, we have seen positive return across equities, bonds and commodities. So Mr. Sadiq, given that 2017 is a pretty good year, what can investors expect from the market in 2018?
Well, it started out like a continuation of 2017, but with some differences. So coming into this year, our kind of macro year ahead was called blue skies, bring an umbrella. And it's blue skies because if you look at economic momentum globally, it actually looks pretty good. And we have strength pretty much across all the regions. It is indeed a synchronized global recovery. At the same time, inflation looks like it's contained, at least for the time being. Also, interest rates are very low. So real interest rates, just interest rates minus inflation, at the short end in the EU, in the US and Japan are negative. And the reason why we ask you to bring an umbrella in these sort of good environments is because we do see some issues that worry us a little bit. One of them is that interest rates are too low. So our sense is that this year, one of the things that concerns us is that bond yields have broken out. So if you look at the 10-year treasury over a long, long history, it looks like we're breaking out of a multi-decade downtrend. From that perspective, there's a couple of things that worry us. First of all, there's more debt today than there was before the GFC. So it's the case that overall leverage in the developed world is higher. So it's probably more sensitive to interest rates. And the other one is inflation. So one thing we do is that we do track inflation very closely because if inflation surprises on the upside, central banks are going to have to unwind the quantitative easing and raise interest rates much faster. And that could certainly be an impact for risk assets. And if you look at inflation, actually it's been quite contained, primarily because food prices are very low. So if I was to summarize, I'd say that things are looking good coming into the year, but I would say that we're a little concerned that most people are bullish. And I think probably the more thing that people should focus on and think about and track very closely is what bond yields are doing. Because even though the bond yields in the US, it could impact global asset prices. And of course, we watch China very carefully. In general, we do like ASEAN. ASEAN is an area where we see a lot of positive trends taking place, whether it's to do with the CapEx cycle recovering, thanks to exports being a little bit better. And also one of the things that we've been talking about, which is the fact that e-commerce sales in ASEAN is very low compared to other parts of the world. And we think that's going to catch up in the next few years. So there are scope for growth. So actually, we quite like the ASEAN region going forward.
So Mr. Teng, Asian markets have had a good run last year. It's up by close to 40% in ringgit term if you're looking at the MSCI Asia ex-Japan index. So what will be the key opportunities in Asia? And are there any country or sector that investors should pay attention to?
I think if you take a step back, emerging markets as an asset class is drawing a fair bit of interest globally. Partly because if you look at the expectation in terms of growth, the emerging market as a block of asset is projecting a much higher return than the developed markets. My sense is that at the moment momentum favors China, continue to be so. If you look at the performance of the markets at the start of the year, is it sustainable? Are they overbought? Clearly for some sectors it looks a little bit stretching, whether it's the e-commerce space, the insurance space. Some of the stocks are really running at a very expensive valuation. However, from that perspective, if there are companies that can produce growth generally worldwide, I think investors at the moment is willing to pay up for growth. Other than China, some of the other markets that we like, including Thailand and Indonesia, we are seeing early signs of recovery taking place in these markets, on earnings itself especially. From a sector's perspective, financials is what we like. We think on the periods where interest rates are going higher globally, financials will benefit from it. We are significantly exposed to that space. Other than the financials, we also like materials. We think the supply constraint in China will continue at the capacity side, and that will continue to hold up prices of some of the material prices.
Ms. Lim, technology has been gaining in importance in our life and also in investors' portfolios. For the coming year, which area in tech do you believe will be the growth drivers?
I think technology itself is a very wide sector. When you look at a subsector of technology, there'll be telecoms, equipment player, there'll be hardware for the PC related, and you have software as well as internet. For those hardware related, we feel that it is slower growth, but then it is on the software related, internet related that we are seeing more growth. And even within this sector, you can go into many different types of subsector. One of them that is very prevalent here, and most of us most probably will see it within the next 10 years, will be electric vehicle. Then when we look at it from autonomous driving, that's where we talk about the car being able to drive itself, or the car being a taxi to actually fetch you to where you want. But that's where the sensors come in, the cameras will have to come in, as well as the computing capability of the CPU within the car will have to come in. The other area that we actually like is actually cloud computing itself. So cloud computing is another area that is moving pretty fast. Another one that we're also looking at will be Internet of Things, as well as if you look at it, it will have to come towards artificial intelligence. Finally, another area will be cybersecurity. Any company that can keep on improving and provide you, your application to protect your system from cybersecurity. So there are many areas that I guess is unlimited and is evolving all the time. So we just got to keep tuned to it and to move accordingly.
We hope the above view shared by our industry experts will be helpful for you to make your investment decisions. In summary, Mr. Sadiq shared his general view of the economy, Mr. Teng on his view for the ASEAN markets, and Ms. Swetling on the opportunities in technology. In line with our investment theme this year, Blue Skies Bring an Umbrella, investment opportunities are still available in the market. So speak to our advisors to identify key opportunities that work for you. With great delight, we would like to take these golden opportunities to wish you a happy Chinese New Year. And may this prosperous year continue to shower you with good health and abundance of wealth in all aspects.